Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Good
Rabbi.
morning, Rabbi.
We are learning Mishnah Gittin, Parak Test, Chapter 9, Mishnah Vav, Mishnah 6. Today's Mishnah is sponsored by the Garland children, L'Zecha Nishmas, memory of their uncle, Gavriel ben Moshe Nachum, in the Shomer Shavan Aliyah.
Amen.
Okay. All right. Another interesting case of a get and how it was written. Shnei Gittin. Two Gittin, meaning two records of divorce, two declarations, two documents of divorce, shekasavan zeh b'tzad zeh, that were written one next to it, side by side.
Not on top of each other.
Okay, meaning you've got a full text of.
No, I'm.
Yeah, I told you today's going to be. You have this. You have this document. On one side, on the right side of the document, is a full text of a get. And on the other side is another get. Different people. Okay? We're not talking about same name, same name. No, same names. Every different names. There's two completely, it's very clear. It's two different documents of divorce. But they're written on the same piece of paper, side by side. Okay? That's number one. That's Shnei Gittin Sheksavan Zeh B'tzad Zeh. Two Gittin written next to each other. Again, on the same paper. Now, Ushnayim Edim Ivrim Boyim Mitachazeh Latachazeh. And two, we call them Hebrew-speaking witnesses. Okay? Everybody here is Jewish. Question is, what's their language? As we're going to see. Ushnayim Edim Ivrim, two Hebrew-speaking witnesses, Boyim Mitachazeh Latachazeh. Come from under one to under the other. So that means like this. You've got, the picture here is very small, so it's not, I can't pick it up to show. But what you have to again realize is you've got two Gittin side by side, and let's say the witness, using the example I have here, the witness's name is Reuven ben Yaakov, right? So the way he writes it is Reuven ben Yaakov Eid. But Reuven ben is under one get, and the other half of his name with the word aid is under the other get. Meaning, it's not like his name is only under one get. The name starts, meaning Hebrew goes from right to left. So he's got the beginning of his name under the get to the right, and the end of, meaning the beginning of his signature, which is his first name, is under the right side, and the rest of the signature, meaning his father's name and the word aid, extended to the left side. Okay, you got two witnesses who did that. Now, if I were to ask you, which document do we see them signed under? You got two documents, you got two Gittin here, right? Which get do we see it written under? Which get does these witnesses belong to?
On the right side.
The answer is the right side. Since it started on the right side,
Because
right?
that's his name, but the
Right,
other side
okay,
is his father's name.
Good. So the beginning of the signature is to the right, and therefore we see these two as witnesses to the get on the right. Now, the story's not over. Ushnayim edim yavanim boyim itachazeh latachazeh. Then you got two witnesses. They're Jewish, but they speak Greek. Okay? Now, Greek is written from left to right.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's all Greek.
It's all Greek to you. Yeah, I know. Ushnaim edim yavanim boyim mitachazeh latachazeh. And two witnesses who speak Greek are also coming from under one to under the other. That means their names are starting under the left one, going to the right. Now, it's important to know for this discussion that if, for instance, however, their names are Jewish. We don't have a question. They're Jewish names, but it's written in Greek, okay? And the same way, when you say a Hebrew name, you have Reuven ben Yaakov, Reuven's son Yaakov, right? Which means Reuven's son of Yaakov. In Greek, it would go the other direction, but in the same kind of form. You'd also have, however in Greek it would be written, Reuven, but it'd be written the same way. Reuven, son Yaakov.
Right.
Okay? In English, we don't write Reuven, son Yaakov, we write Reuven, son of Yaakov. But the point is that in the case of the Greek signature, the form, the way the Greek language works, if when you want to write Reuven, son of Yaakov, it's going to be Reuven, son Yaakov, just like by Hebrew, just as written in Greek. Okay? So now, you've got two witnesses that have signed their names from right to left, and you've got two witnesses below that who signed from left to right. Okay? And the ones that signed from left to right, we would say, okay, so they're signing to the get on the left. That's what they're doing. Because since they go left to right, that's what they do. And the fact that there may be, another witnesses in between them wouldn't necessarily create a problem because it's on the document and they sign to it. So says the Mishnah, what's the halach about this get? At sho'edim harishonim nikrayani my kosher. The one that the first pair of witnesses are read with, that one is kosher. The other one is not. Okay? So the first, meaning the point of the Mishnah now is, whichever two witnesses signed first, okay, that the get that goes with those signatures will be kosher, and the other one won't.
Regardless of the direction.
No, 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, that means if the two witnesses were Hebrew speaking, right, then the get that's going to be acceptable is the get to the right. If the first two were the Greek, were the ones who signed it in Greek, that goes from left to right, then if they're the first ones, then the get to the left is going to be kosher. Now, what's wrong with the other ones? What's wrong with the other ones? What's the problem with the other ones? I mean, like we say, just because you have two witnesses signed before the other two witnesses, right? The other two witnesses are going, let's say the first ones were Hebrew, the next ones were Greek. So the second one's going from left to right. If we're going from left to right, then everything's fine. What should be the problem? We see that they're signing to the get on the left. And just because another pair of witnesses above them, that shouldn't necessarily be a problem. So what is the problem? So the problem is like this. Okay, you ready? Here's the problem. I'll read it to you from here, and we'll work it through. If the Hebrew signatures appear first under these Gittin, then the get on the right is valid, since that is the one they signed. And if the Greek signatures appear first, then the get on the left is valid, since that is the one they signed. However, the other get, the one not signed by the first witnesses, is not valid because we are not sure which get the second witnesses were signing. We're not sure. Why? For example, if the second witness is signed in Greek, they might have been signing the get on the left and written their names in the usual Greek manner from left to right. They could have been doing that. That would have been regular. But it is also possible that they were signing the get on the right and wrote their names backward from right to left in order to match the first witnesses who signed it from right to left in Hebrew. The Mishnah says that there's this possibility that the later witness is trying to conform to the ones before. And therefore, okay, and the way they say that is okay, and I can explain that. They might have wanted all the signatures to be written in the same direction. Thus, although each individual word is read from left to right, the signature as a whole goes from right to left. This would mean that a signature that in Greek reads Yosef son Shimon should actually be read from right to left and means Shimon son Yosef, meaning if it's really supposed to be Greek.
Yeah.
Okay, meaning, okay, so let's try to work this out, right? It gets a little complicated. All right. You've got now this Greek guy. Okay? The Greek guy right here, he's supposed to be going left to right. Okay? He's supposed to be going left to right. Okay? And let's say his name is Yosef ben Shimon. Right? So in Greek, it's going to be Yosef son Shimon, as we said. The structure is the same. Okay? But because the guy before him was writing in Hebrew, and we're going from right to left, he decided he's also going to go right to left. And he wants you to read his name is what did we say his name was? Yosef ben Shimon, right? Right? So he put the Yosef on the right and the Shimon on the left, to conform to the order of the one before. But he wants you to read it, right? Like we read in Greek, that which would have been Yosef, the son of Shimon, not Shimon, the son of Yosef.
That's his father.
His father is Shimon. I don't know what his father's name was, what his grandfather's name was. But the point is that his name is really Yosef ben Shimon, and that's what he, that's his name. But he decided to write it basically backwards in order to conform with the order of the names of the previous signatures, which were Hebrew. Okay, now that's a problem because we don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know how to read his name, right? We know how to read his name. Is his name Shimon ben Yosef, or is his name Yosef ben Shimon? And all these are problems because of the fact that, again, he's trying to conform to the one before. And the same thing would be true if, let's say, the first ones were Greek signatures, right? So now the Hebrew-speaking guy, right? If his name is Yosef ben Shimon, right, and he should be writing it from right to left, right? He switched it to conform to the other guys, just like the other guys, their first name is to the left and then the father's name is to the right. He did the same thing. But the problem is that in Hebrew, that's not the way you read it. And therefore, being that this is our concern of what could be happening, therefore we say the get that has the first two witnesses are under, so let's say the first two witnesses were the Hebrew speaking, right? Going from right to left. Right, so we have no reason to think that they're doing anything out of the ordinary. Yeah. But the Greek ones who follow, we're concerned that maybe they're going to write their names call it backward in order to conform to the order of the previous witnesses. That is a concern that we have, and if that's our concern, therefore we don't really know how to read their names, and therefore we cannot count them as proper witnesses to any of the gets. But we don't need them. We don't need them. We have two regular witnesses in the beginning. And therefore, the one that the first witnesses are under is going to be the get that we can use. Okay, to be continued tomorrow.
Okay.
When it gets more complicated.
Yep.
Have a wonderful day.
Because this